Dear Miss Lala, I used to wear tight braids and now I am losing my hairline. Please help. Okay, this is an issue that a lot of women deal with, myself included. Wearing tight braids and tight styles in general can lead to hair loss and breakage, some of which can become permanent. One major issue is traction alopecia. So to my reader who wrote this, or to anyone else who is dealing with this, my first recommendation would please be to see a dermatologist or a trichologist. These are qualified professionals who can determine if you are dealing with traction alopecia, which can be a serious issue that can become permanent, and we want to avoid that. Now, here are some general tips that I have used myself when dealing with hair loss and breakage around my own edges. First, of course, stay away from the tight styles and wigs that require glue. I would encourage you to wear styles like braid outs, twist outs, where the edges are loose and free. Or something else I do is secure my edges with pins. I do what I call tuck and roll styles. That way I don't have to do a lot of brushing. My edges still look fairly neat, but they're not pulled extremely tightly. Next, please put the brush down. Brush your hair as little as possible. If you can avoid it, just don't do it. And brushing while wet is a definite don't. Your hair is in a weakened state when it is wet, and that is the worst possible time to put a brush to it. And that goes for anyone if you're trying to have healthy edges. Now, to get my hair smoothed down, sometimes I will use gel on it, but that's different than freshly wet, especially shampooed hair that's in a weakened state. Now, in terms of smoothing my edges without using a brush, I do have a video on how I do that, and please check that out. Now, next, of course, you need to keep your edges well moisturized to prevent any further breakage or damage. And if you go to my website, I have some recommendations for moisturizers, but some of the cheaper curl activators will be just perfect, but stay away from anything with drying alcohol. So during this time, you might want to leave some of the stronger gel and holding products alone, and instead give aloe vera gel a try. You might mix it with a little bit of shea butter for smoothing results. Next, at nighttime, I know I personally, like to tie my hair up to preserve my style, but you might want to stick with using a satin pillowcase instead, just to minimize any issues with friction. Okay, this next step is important just in general when you're trying to grow your hair, but especially when you're trying to regrow it. To maximize your growth, take a hair, skin, and nail vitamin. There are tons of ones out there. I do suggest some on my site. I personally am a fan of GNC Ultra Nourish Hair. I also like the vitamin that is put out by the Vitamin Shop. That one is pretty good as well. Now, when you're trying to regrow your hair, you might also want to consider a topical growth aid. That is something that helps your hair grow faster, supposedly. Now, you can try and make something yourself, but the one that I've used and that actually worked for me when I had issues with my edges was Claudi's Hair Revitalizer, and as far as I know, this is only available online right now. Step. To thicken up your edges, you can try castor oil, or when I was dealing with this most recent issue post-pregnancy, I used a henna treatment to help thicken up my edges, and you can click on the link and watch the video for that as well. So those are 7 simple tips to get you going to regrow your edges. It's not a hard thing, but it will take patience and time. I would say the last time I had issues with my edges, it took me a good 5 months to see any kind of results, and a full year to really get them back where I wanted them. So give it time, consult a professional, and just at all costs, if nothing else, just please stay away from those tight styles. And thank you so much for watching this video.